This NASCAR 2025 season in review edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I am Rod Villagomez, and we have reached the end of 2025 today, the very last day. Of course, if you're listening to this on the actual podcast today, the very last day of the 2025 calendar year. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, then psych, just kidding, it's a day early. But we wanted to come to you live so we can get some fan reaction as we go through this. But of course, as always, we're here today to put to rest the 2025 year. And just, we're going to here to reflect. Cody, you gave us the idea a couple of weeks ago, just to reflect on the 2025 season and all the goodness and drama and just sheer frustration that it brought us. And I feel like this is a good way to end the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. Just kind of go back and review it, right? Who was disappointing for us? Who let us down? Who did the opposite? Who made us? Who brought their level up to where we need to keep an eye on them going forward? All kinds of questions we're gonna just kind of ask each other and talk through today. We want you guys' feedback. So if you're live in the chat, give us your answers to these questions as they come up. If you're listening after the fact, comment on YouTube, comment on Spotify, Discord, wherever. You can find us everywhere. We want to hear you guys' thoughts on who was your biggest disappointment or surprise or any of these other questions we ask. This is going to be a fun one. Not really like we don't have to follow a certain list of things. We don't have to follow a certain, we got to get all these guys' odds in or whatever. Just freestyle, baby, like we do, and talk NASCAR and reflect on what has been the 2025 season and year, and prepare to launch into 2026 for hopefully the best year ever.
I remember, and you don't, because in 1983 you were not alive yet.
I was not.
But 1983, 1985, I just recall sitting there thinking about the 2020s and how far that seemed like it was away, and that I don't ever think that I'd live to see a 2020, let alone 2025, let alone 2026. And then I'm sitting there thinking, because I was listening to a show and they were talking about 2050, and I did the quick back of the napkin math, and very much could be around for 2050. It just feels like these astronomical years that we're living in, and it just
much closer to 2050 than 1983, Rob.
Don't remind me. It's crazy. But yeah, so we'll take a look back at 2025, look ahead to 2026 in the coming show. JDK checking in saying, evening fella.
JDK.
Which one?
Oh.
I
guess he's just saying hi to one of us. We got to figure out who it is. All right, that's the first topic of today is JDK saying hello to Rod or myself.
That's a very good question. Let's take the 50-50 bets on that. But yeah, so we'll break that all.
Like a Kalshi question.
Who is JDK saying hello to, evening to? Trade that on Kalshi. All right. But before we do any of that, I just want to remind you that it's so easy to get all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place, and that is the SGPN app. Go download it for free in the App Store. All you got to do is type in SGPN. JDK's already got the S for you already, so just type in
It's
GPN.
a tie, Rod.
Whoever bet both is the winner right there. So
Yep.
the tie. All right.
Trick
2025.
question. It was neither of us. It was both.
It was everybody. All right, 2025 in the books. Obviously, we know that Kyle Larson got promoted to Admiral Shook and basically took home his booty and titles.
Shout out to him collecting some booty down under. Took home big sprint car race down in I think at Perth, I believe, in Australia there. So that was just a couple of nights ago on, I think it was it Sunday night or Monday night. I saw. He picked up a big win down there. So shout out to the good Admiral, Rod.
Max Verstappen would never.
Yeah, it was weird. I looked and didn't see Max Verstappen's name on the entry list. Strange. I'm sure there was a good reason for that, but yeah, only Kyle Larson's name. So take that for what you will, Rod. I don't know.
Red Bull gave him wings, but it didn't fly him out that far. That's all there was to it. But no. So again, it was Kyle Larson taking on the championship and kind of defying the odds because of the fact that in the beginning of the season, it just did not look. And then, of course, after Indianapolis, it really didn't look.
Yeah, I mean, we literally gave him the nickname Captain Shook because of how horrible the entire second half of the season went. And really, you look, even the championship race did not go his way. He was not very good in it. He didn't lead any laps. He finished, fourth place and won the championship. I mean, just obviously the way the circumstances folded out and Denny Hamlin, the bad luck, I guess you could say, at the end of the race there and things going. But it's crazy, I guess, how badly it unfolded, yet he still found his way to the championship. So really does speak volumes about the greatest race car driver in the world, Rob.
When it's your year, and factors can't hold you back. So it was a year, like we said, that gave us Kyle Larson's second championship run. There was a lot of great things that happened, a lot of crazy things that happened. So, Cody, I guess we just pretty much start at the let's get the negative stuff out of the way. Let's start with the negative and then work our way to a happier entry into 2026, because I want to know who was the biggest disappointment for Cody Zeeb in the NASCAR 2025 season. Who or what? I guess we don't need to pin it down to an actual driver. What was a big disappointment? Who was a big disappointment? Just what was
it? So there's different levels you could definitely look at this on, but the first guy that jumps to my mind, and that's pretty much, I wrote a lot of these questions out, but I didn't actually give them much thought because I kind of wanted it to be reactionary. But Tyler Reddick's the first guy that jumps to mind for me. Wins the regular season title in 2024, wins a bunch of races, comes into the season with pretty high expectations. We had the championship tickets in 24, got so close, right? He makes the Final Four, and then you come into 2025, and really disappointing is how you would describe his season, because he did absolutely nothing. He won no races. He was not a contender in the title fight. He was not a contender in the regular season championship. It just, for on a week-to-week basis, he really wasn't a contender, and off of, building up, and then boom, he has this great year in 2024 to absolutely nothing in 2025. I think Tyler Reddick takes my most disappointing driver for 2025.
And I'm sure he probably feels the same way as he's taking it home this season. And for him, I mean, again, it was just a matter of, I guess, I don't know. If I could actually figure out what actually happened, I'm sure I'd be the richest guy out there. But
yeah, and I mean, so there's some of the, how much did the lawsuit factor into things? His wife was pregnant during the season. There certainly can, that, like, again, these are human beings, right? That can factor into things. His son did have some issues, and I don't want to keep going back and blaming that, because I don't think that's proper to go back. But just there's other things going on, right? Maybe there were some distractions there. I mean, Bubba Wallace had kind of a banner year, so hard to blame it on the team. They did expand to the third team, though, so did that take away some resources from the 45 to get the 35 up and running? That certainly is something that could have come into it. And sometimes athletes, Patrick Mahomes, just have bad years, Rod. I mean, maybe it just isn't the Chiefs' year. I like to remind people that it's not their year. They are eliminated from the playoffs, but just wasn't Tyler Reddick's year. I think he'll be back and just fine in 2026.
Yeah, again, with all the distractions off the track, I'm sure his head will be focused and he'll be ready to go into the coming season. I've got a couple of disappointments. The first and I'm sorry.
Go for it. I was going to ask who your disappointment was, so go for it.
Yeah. So look, there's one that's not even driver related. It's just the inconsistency of cautions in the 2025 season. I feel like this season, we complain about him every year, but I just feel like this season alone,
just real quickly, is the color yellow the problem? Because NFL officials seem to have an issue with the color yellow and the flags, there. Right? Maybe yellow is the problem. Maybe we just need to switch the color.
I've told everybody that my least favorite color in the entire world is yellow. CFL uses orange flags. I don't get mad when they throw flags. It must be the color yellow. But to me, NASCAR needs to clean up what constitutes a caution. At what point does a single car spin need to be a caution or not need to be a caution? Because there were so many races, especially at the end, where a car would lose it. Nobody in the world was going to hit this car, and the car got right. But at the second that car spun, we threw a caution. And then there'd be another race a couple weeks down the road where we've got a car pretty much doing donuts on the track, and they
sitting there for laps, and they don't throw the caution.
Yeah, literally things that you would throw a caution about, and they're not throwing cautions. So that to me is a big disappointment, because that's hard to sell to a person that doesn't watch NASCAR very often, right? Because if they see something like that and they go, well, what the hell just happened? And you got to tell them, and then it happens again and they go, well, what happened and why didn't, it's almost like pass interference. It's almost like roughing the passer in the NFL. Nobody can get that right. Nobody can figure out the quantum mathematics that it takes to figure out what those are, right?
So
and it's
subjective.
Just frustrating.
Yeah, it's subjective, and it is super frustrating. JDK chiming in with a couple of his votes. Kyle Busch. I think that depends where your expectations were, right? I don't know that anybody really truly expected him to be great. So, and then RFK, honestly, I agree with you there. Buescher, Reddick was kind of the first guy that jumped to mind, but Buescher, Keselowski right behind him. They were, I would say, maybe the most disappointing team. RFK could take that. Had flashes where they did have some good stuff, right? And Keselowski almost won like 9 races or something crazy where he was close. But and a good year for Priest, but it did all amount to nothing. So I think those are a couple of good highlights for disappointments from JDK as well.
Yep. And then another just driver disappointment is that Ryan Blaney not winning the championship. That was such a fantastic.
How do you not go with Denny Hamlin in that situation? I mean,
because I don't know. Because Denny Hamlin, yeah, I get it. I understand. And that hurts. But like, I was going for Blaney, that I was going for Hamlin because that was what the sentiment and the emotion said. Right. But all in all, I was really going for Blaney to win the whole thing. And, I feel like he put a really good case together too by the end of the season to get it done. And he just didn't get it done. Right. I mean, we saw Denny kind of get there, but, Blaney had the momentum.
Blaney did win the final race of the season, so he's got momentum headed into 2026.
He does indeed. All right, before we get into the very next question, I feel like we'll probably talk a little bit longer than it is before we get into this. So let's talk about our friends over at Kalshi. We just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market in all 50 states. And in all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets, including sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first TDs. Besides sports, they got a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment. Hell, you can even trade on the weather. I gave you yesterday, I gave you an example of trading on the weather, but you can even trade. I was just talking to Cody before we jumped on. Kalshi was giving live odds for the Tennessee and Illinois game, and props to Illinois for actually winning the game. But Tennessee at one point was just a underdog to where I was going to live bet him or live trade him the whole time. And it was so tempting, but you can also trade on who's going to win the Stanley Cup. Colorado Avalanche right now, 24 cents on the yes. So a $100 investment will bring back $417 to you for trading the Stanley Cup champions, the Colorado Avalanche. New Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog's got you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. You will unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. Looking ahead to darts. You know I love me some darts. Luke Littner, you've heard his name before. Luke Littler, you've heard his name here. He's got total 180s. The projection is set at 11.5. That dude's a machine, literally a machine. The higher then will get you 0.85 times your money, which tells you that he's going to hit 11.5. He's going to hit 12 180s. So go get in on that right now. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE SGPN. Yes, sir. If you haven't yet to watch any sort of darts, please watch darts. It's always fun.
Darts is entertaining. Rowdy Nation checking in says, Cody, you, sir, are a busy man today. Speaking of Underdog, I did just get off of the Sports Gambling Podcast, the main show, the big show over there. Did a couple of Underdog best ball drafts for the playoffs. Those are always exciting. We talk a lot about the pick'ems in Underdog, but the fantasy stuff, which is how they kind of started and got everything going, absolutely great over there as well. So, yeah, this is my third show of the day and final show of the week, so I'm happy about that. I'll be headed to the Colorado mountains here in a couple of days and getting away for a few.
That's awesome. I know 3-a-days are always something from when we do a couple of them. Like when I've done a fantasy football show, this show, Back Road, you just
tell the family like I got to get them in before we leave. So this is what it is. We're going hard at it and getting it all knocked out.
Indeed. Mark is checking in saying hi, everyone.
Hey, Mark.
And everyone, what are your predictions for 2026? I guarantee you we all know what that is. The Christopher Bell's going to win the Clash. The most races, have a career banner year and win the championship. So good for you, Marcus, sticking to your guns. Speaking
21 years of frustration, 21 years of trying. KFB wins the Daytona 500. That's Rowdy Nation's. Is it 21 or 20? He might be at 22 now, actually. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And it continues to climb at this point. So, all right. How about let's move on to you've got a list of questions here, and I like it. So we're just going to keep going down this list. How about the biggest surprise of 2025? Something you did not see coming.
Well, I've got two for this, if you'll allow, Rod.
No.
I think Chase Briscoe is one. We talked about him going into the season. We thought he would start the year slow and then be okay. But to the level he got to, I did not see that coming. I was, when they chose to put him in the car, it was kind of like, man, have we seen anything? I don't know. He made us a fuck ton of money this past year, so absolutely love him for that. Just cash bet after bet after bet. Amazing playoff run by him, getting to the championship race, having an opportunity there. So I would say he's probably the biggest surprise. But the other guy that comes to mind, Carson Hocevar. I mean, we saw flashes right in the rookie season, but he really flourished last year, and not to winning races level, but to competing for races level, and really putting himself on the map. So much so that we talked about him earlier in the week when we were talking about silly season 2027 stuff. Maybe he gets an opportunity in a ride like the 48 car, right? So I would say that he definitely was a surprise for, okay, this guy is for real and has some talent and is going to be in the Cup Series for a while. So Chase Briscoe, Carson Hocevar, I think those are my two biggest surprises for 2025. I did get late Christmas present. My Carson Hocevar shirt came in the mail yesterday, Rod. I should have wore it tonight, but I will have to send you a picture this weekend as I wear my Hocevar shirt just for you.
I thought that they would just take that straight to the trash. I didn't think that they would deliver it. I thought they would make a concerted effort to show you that they delivered it and then deliver straight into the garbage, which is, what I thought. But just kidding. Listen, so I think one of my biggest surprises actually is how well Bubba Wallace actually ended up kind of closing out the season. It wasn't the best of finishes for him, but the win at Indianapolis, the big win there to kiss the bricks, that was such an emotional moment for him. And then, just sort of being there and being where he needed to be, the 6th at Darlington, the 8th at Gateway, the 5th at Kansas, the 4th at Talladega, it just, Bubba Wallace's maturity, I think, is really what was the biggest surprise. This season saw him really grow up and be, and he probably admitted to you, right? Because he said, old me would have been completely bashing my boss and all that other good stuff, but new me's not going to say that. So, Bubba Wallace, we knew that he was a talented driver, but we had said for a long time that the youth, the fieriness and the temper and everything that kind of holds him back was holding him back, right? And this year he got rid of a lot of that. And boy, I tell you, his average finish may not show it, right? His average finish on the season was only 18.5. But he did have 14 top 10s, 6 top 5s, and a win. So statistically, it may not have been his best season. But I think as far as watching him be a more complete driver made me a lot. I don't know. I already liked him, but I think I was like, okay, but this is the guy that I liked, right? This is what I saw in Bubba Wallace, while all you guys were like, Bubba Wallace. But yeah, he was one of my biggest surprises this year.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually a really good one. He had a great season, and it'll be good to see how he builds on that, right? Can they take, it was a new crew chief for him this year, and that seems to have been a very good pairing. So can they take that kind of to the next level going forward? It would be great to see. Obviously, 2311 sticking around. They'll be around forever. So JDK bringing up a good one, too. SVG wax in the field on road courses that guys are supposed to be good at. I did not see that coming to the level that it came to, where he really just Max Verstappen style stomping the field. I think that definitely was a surprise. We obviously knew he was good at them and he was going to be solid, but I don't think we saw him being that dominant at the road courses to where he is the massive favorite at all of them going forward, and very well should be.
And really, the guy, he came on and we all, we did the eye emoji. We were like, okay, yeah, this is good. This is going to be good for these guys. But like JDK said, I mean, guys like Kyle Larson, guys like Chase Elliott, guys like even Denny Hamlin, like all these guys that were good on these road courses, they didn't hold a candle.
Couldn't hold a candle. So I mean, just nowhere close, just blowing everyone out of the water. I mean, if we didn't have stage cautions, he'd lapped the field at multiple road courses this year. It was that dominating of performances by him.
Yeah, he definitely would have lapped the field for sure. We'd have been talking about, we need stage breaks and we need cautions and everybody. So, all right, Cody, let's move on to your next category here about most improved for 2026.
Should have saved Carson Hocevar for this one.
I think I was like, I should have saved Bubba Wallace for this one.
Yeah, I think you could definitely put Carson Hocevar in that category, most improved. Chase Briscoe, honorable mention. I mean, I guess with biggest surprises, maybe there's some correlation there. But how about Legacy Motor Club, right? I think we could throw them. Oh, did I steal it from you? Sorry, Rod.
You're good.
We'll go in on this one together. Legacy Motor Club, and I think the fact that maybe both of us are going that direction really shows you how much improved they were. We just saw a complete turnaround, right? They second year with Toyota. The first year was the second year with Toyota, right? This was the second year with Toyota. Jimmy Johnson has officially took over as the full owner, like majority owner of the team. You could see him steering things in his direction, bringing his people in there. I think Legacy Motor Club, both drivers, Jones and Nemechek, had great seasons betting wise. They were both great to us. We had many opportunities to cash bets on them. I'll give them those, and JDK with a good one here in the chat. I'll leave that one for you, Rod.
Well, I'll also just climb on the Legacy Motor Club thing, and I think really not just so much the on the track. You could see it visibly that they were a lot more competitive. I think the mindset was the most improved of this team, because these guys felt competitive. Because I don't know, the last year that they were in
mindset in there, Ron.
Say again.
A little GOAT mindset coming in the building.
But when you got a 7-time champion in the roof, like, it's hard to not try to perform to that level, right?
Unless you're the Raiders, but
unless you're the Raiders. Ryan Preece, though, that was a most improved from JDK. But because the fact of the matter is he got brought on to RFK to do exactly that, right? That was his role. Snatched him up from Haas because Haas went away. And I think he just needed that fresh start under the same roof as a Brad Keselowski, right? A Brad Keselowski, a hungry Chris Buescher. Ryan Preece already was a solid driver. He was making a name for himself at Haas, but being teamed up with those two, I think, yeah, you're right. He was a guy that we talked about a lot in the betting episodes.
Yeah, I think he's a really good one. And I think solid driver at Stewart-Haas might be pushing it a little bit. He was okay there, and he gets this ride, and you're kind of like, is he the guy you should put in this? But then to go out and perform to the level that he did for as bad of a year as RFK as a whole had, I mean, Chris Buescher, nowhere near where we've gotten accustomed to him being. Keselowski really falling off the map, but Priest at times, and they had flashes right throughout the season, but Priest at times carrying that organization certainly wasn't something that was on my 2025 bingo card. So, I think that Ryan Priest definitely qualifies as one of the most improved.
I definitely agree with you on that one. All right, let's go with this one. This one's fun. Who did the most with the least? That's a fun little question. I don't know that too many people.
Carson Hocevar once again entering the chat. Rod, boy, he's like Drake May. He's just going to take all of the awards here this season. No, what about Ty Dillon? I think actually a guy that really pops up. It was a banner year for Ty Dillon, and if you want to talk about most with the least, right? He is pretty close to the least, but we saw some really good runs and really good performances out of Ty Dillon. I was trying to pull up his stats. I mean, still, 33rd in the final standings at the end of the day, but and really it's only one top 10. Yes, there was 19 laps led in there, but just week to week, his overperforming where you expect Ty Dillon to be, I think is just something that, when we're talking about guys with lesser equipment, more towards the bottom of the board, that really kind of surprised you throughout the season. Not every week, but Ty Dillon, a guy that jumps to mind for me.
Yeah, again, because of the colleague equipment it's good, but it's not, all that. Although Rowdy Nation, I do agree with you on that one. Can't wait to bet Carson Hocevar.
Smash the overbay. It's going to be set at a half. And Hocevar is probably winning the 500. He's probably winning in Nashville. There might be another one in there, Michigan or something. I don't know. I'd say 6-7 wins for Carson Hocevar in 2025. 6.
Oh my God, that is insane. Now I need a new co-host because that is just irresponsible. Rowdy Nation also tossing in Zane Smith out there. Zane Smith, yeah, I could see that. That 38, 21 average finish, but
yeah, he definitely had some bright spots, right? Especially, later on in the season, the mile and a half stuff was really good out of him. Definitely some bright spots there. So
I will say though, Josh Berry just making the playoffs is the guy that did the most with the least, I think. Well, because listen,
he had brothers. It's a 4th Penske car, Rod. Come on.
Yeah, but still,
and like one win, he sucked the rest of the year.
You're too.
I tried to get on the berry bandwagon, and those berries were rotten. They smelled. They did not taste good. No berry bandwagon for me, Rod.
Yeah, no, I know. I can't convince you to get on that Josh Berry bandwagon. You can't convince me to get on the Carson Hocevar bandwagon. TK saying he kind of ruined that positive image with the Byron pitting issue and his attitude about it. JDK wants me to get off the berry train.
Get off the berry train
as well.
The berries are rotten.
I like fruits and berries. They're so good to me. But yeah, I think that's a fun one.
Dale Jr. would be proud, Rod.
Thank you.
Dale Jr. is the conductor, and he Fred Flintstones the berry train at times.
My feet will be raw because of all of the ground I'm pounding to try to get there.
Okay. And yes, TK giving Harrison Burton all the credit because they had more money from making the playoffs with Harrison Burton. That's why Barry did okay.
Hey, Harrison Burton, and he did well in the O'Reilly series, right?
Yes, and shout out to JDK. He did keep telling us that Barry was a fraud. I took too long to realize it, but yeah, sometimes you get there eventually.
Okay, speaking of getting there, let's get here. Team of the year, my friend. Who is the team of the year? And there's a lot of. I can start.
Yeah. Let's you start with this one.
It's obviously the team that won the whole championship. It's got to be Hendrick Motorsports, right? And not just because of the fact that Kyle Larson won it all, but William Byron was always in the mix, and then Chase Elliott was somewhere. But this is tough because here's the thing, right? So yeah, Byron and Larson steal the headlines. Elliott, Bowman were sort of the guys that were filling out the rest of it, which doesn't make much sense. But But you can't even put JGR really in that mix too much because
look at the 3 cars, though. I mean,
well,
if you take Gibbs out of the mix, the 3 cars that JGR has, oof, they were better than the 3 top Hendrick cars. Granted, yes,
that's true.
you got the ultimate prize. You won the Super Bowl with Hendrick. I'll give you that. I was trying to think. I mean, obviously, we've already spoken about legacy. I think that you could include them. I don't know if you want to say quote unquote team of the year, but definitely most improved team, right? Obviously you kind of go between Hendrick and JGR, I guess, at the top of the board just because of that. I think there's an argument to be made for Trackhouse because they have clearly found something in SVG from a rough, a diamond in the rough back in the Chicago days to where we're at now, to signing Connor Zilich and really securing that lineup. Like, if you want to broaden out your definition of what the team did this year, Trackhouse with a lot of W's on the track, literally, and off the track as well, with having the lineup that they have going forward, putting themselves in position, not guaranteeing, but you're probably going to win at least 5 races every year as a smaller team that has been, just because of the lineup you now have with SVG and his road course domination, with Zilich as the up-and-comer, with Chastain, like the season they had, right, with all the SVG wins, the Chastain, he won the 600, I think, at Charlotte. And so if you want to skip past the top teams, I'd say that's a team that kind of jumps out to me as maybe getting what the team did overall award for the year.
So if you really want to kind of parse this down into what the stats say, right? So JGR, 13 wins on the season. It was 6 for Denny Hamlin. It was 4 for Christopher Bell. It was 3 for Chase Briscoe. And then it was 8 wins for Hendrick, right? 3 for Kyle, 3 for Byron, 2 for Chase. Alex Bowman held out of victory lane. I kind of agree with TK that Ty Gibbs and his drama single-handedly drags JGR down to the point where Hendrick deserves it more. I mean,
Larson was shook for half the year, but to John's point, Byron did have a great year. Byron had an amazing year, only 3 wins, which is still a good year, but wins the regular season championship. I mean, was in it all the way till the end, right? Had a shot in the championship race. Clearly, those are the best 2 teams. I think you could argue that either team gets the award. JGR maybe with the better overall performance throughout the season. Hendrick gets it done in the Super Bowl. So, although both Super Bowls really, because they won the actual Super Bowl to start the season and the championship at the end of the day. But Trackhouse from the Trackhouse is coming in with a chair. Oh, they hit Hendrick and JGR over the head. Trackhouse is the champion, Rob.
Oh, the humanity. Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. No, and look, I'm with you on the Trackhouse being one of those dark horse because of the fact that they have their SVG that can just continually stomp everybody. And, look out for them now when they put Connor Zilich in there, when both of those guys.
And SVG starting to get good on ovals. Oh, buddy. It's over, boy. Watch out.
Over. All right. Speaking of over, show's not over. We're coming right back after this, where I tell you about my friends.
What a tease.
Woohoo! Novig. We're brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. With Novig, you're getting the best prices. Oh, man. How about the Thursday slate for college football? One of the more important slates out there. Oregon taking on Texas Tech in the college football playoffs. Oregon, you are getting on Novig a 2.5-point favorites out there at even money, plus 100. I'll tell you right now, there are some books that are charging minus 108 for that same 2.5-point spread for Oregon. So, telling you, go grab that on Novig because you're getting a much better deal over there. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5. Use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Rhythms crushed the NFL this season, especially on props. They've been really good at identifying when to fade players and takers. College basketball up and running, and with 300 plus schools, Rhythm has predictions for every single night, every single game, which, like a nice drink of choice, whatever beverage of choice it is, it pairs nicely with the daily TCE shows with Matt Colby and Noah. Every game, you are prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays, makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game so I can focus on other sports. Speaking of big games, how about the 49ers taking on to the Seahawks? It gets no bigger for either one of them. NFC West on the line, number 1 seed in the NFC on the line as well. How about tight ends? AJ Barner, the rhythm prediction model is giving us over 36.5 receiving yards at -114. Barner's done this 2 games in a row. We just watched the Chicago Bears tight end run wonky over that non-existent San Francisco defense. Feels like a very good opportunity for you to get in on it and use our promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app. You're going to get 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25. I would rather not see another tight end play against the 49ers. I just don't want to see another offense play against the 49ers because that defense was horrific.
Well, when your offense is that good, you don't need a defense, Rob.
Thank God for that. Well, it's because they're all hurt, but whatever. All right. So let's save this next one for the very last. How about let's go to the most underrated driver or team or whatever of the season.
Carson Hocevar again? Wow.
Jesus Christ, Cody. Get off, of course.
He just keeps coming up in all these thoughts, Ron. So most underrated, that's certainly an interesting question. Trying to think and kind of look through the list here. Bubba Wallace, honestly, might be a really good one. You brought him up earlier, but just the season he put together, it wasn't overly hyped up, right? I mean, you look at the top, Christopher Bell is not in that category of holding the iPad and saying, and I took that personally anymore. Like he gets the respect he deserves. So yeah, I'm going to go with a Bubba Wallace. I think kind of underappreciated, underrated to a degree, and does good. Rowdy Nation with Zane Smith again. That's a pretty good one. John R. Nemechek as well. Nemechek actually might be the best one for this category, just because really put together a solid, strong season, just continually a guy we could bet on, and you knew you were going to have a chance when you were betting on him. So, yeah, Nemechek, I think actually I'll take in the top spot here.
I like that, but I also, so Ross Chastain's a guy that you expect big things out of, right? But the season that he put together, I think, was underrated. He did finish 10th in the points overall, and he did it in a way that was not flashy, right? I mean, he only had one win on the season, right? Yeah, 4 top 5s, 12 top 10s in a season where you didn't hear his name a lot. And so I feel like because he was still able to put together at least a 10th place finish overall, that it kind of goes under the radar, right? Ross Chastain, somebody you expect to be jockeying for wins each and every race. But this year, it wasn't with Shane Van Gisbergen sucking up all the oxygen over there in Trackhouse. 2311 Trackhouse? No, in Trackhouse, right? Shane Van Gisbergen taking all of the glory over there. Ross Chastain sort of slept into the background, and I feel like it was one of the most underrated drivers this year.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good one. I like that. JDK bringing up Alex Bowman. Can you be underrated if you're driving a Hendrick car? I don't think so. So I'm going to throw that one out. Sorry, JDK.
You can't.
You've had some good suggestions, but get out of here with that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just not. I don't feel like you can be under the radar if you.
And I don't know, like he was just Alex Bowman. Like he was consistent and he was good and he was fine, but he didn't win any races. I don't know. Maybe I'm underrating him.
By the sheer definition of it. All right. How about driver who made you buy 2026 stock on Kalshi after the 2025 season? I think I already know your answer to this one too.
Wow, Carson Hocevar, Rod. I mean, really, this is a good spot for Carson Hocevar because the performances he had, man, I am swooned with Carson Hocevar. Love the kid, the personality, driving a Dale Earnhardt truck that's street legal. I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that, Rod. And he's got that fire. He's got the excitement. We need that kind of stuff in NASCAR. He's so good for the sport. And you saw it on the track, right? He got close a couple of times. He had some opportunities, didn't quite close out. He's learned some stuff. Really, really, really reminds me of a Ross Chastain from a couple of years ago. Comes in fiery, just swinging right, and needed to settle in to become the most underrated driver, as you just mentioned. But Hocevar, for me, is a guy that I want a lot of stock in 2026 because I think that he's going to – I hope we get a win total on him. I think it would be set at a half. I would definitely take the over on it. I think he's going to get his first career win. And I think we're going to be talking about him in the mix. Just think about how many times you saw the 77 car running with the 5 car last year when those two cars really shouldn't be in the same conversation. But Hocevar was outperforming the equipment he's in, and he's a wheel, man. I really, really like the kid. So I was already in on him, but his 2025 season I've purchased it, and I hope that it's Apple stock, Rod.
Ugh. Roddy wants to know, Cody, over under on Gibbs wins. Like,
I think it has to be set at a half, right? I mean, you're going to set it at a half because you can't set any lower. And he'll win 2 races.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, if you're not going there, TK with a great point. I actually thought about bringing SVG up because we weren't sold on him in Cup last year. We may be more confident than he is that he's going to win all the road courses, but also the stock performance down the road to the last quarter there on intermediates, on ovals. That stock is as much as it feels like maybe it capped out because of how good he was on road courses. There is some undiscovered potential in that stock, and I'm very interested in continuing to buy SVG stock as it rises. So I think that is a great one as well, TK, and definitely one that I thought of bringing up also. So glad you did.
Once Kalshi actually does start releasing some NASCAR markets, that is going to be a lot of fun to start trading on SVG and try to see what we can get our good deals on. Look, so my driver that I buy, this is not on what he did in 2025. It's what he did at the end of 2025, and that is to move teams. I'll take Carson Hocevar's teammate, Daniel Suarez. I feel like this move to Spire could very much put him back in the mix for a couple of wins next year. It could make him a little more of a good teammate to these other 2 guys that are there. And, we see him run well at Atlanta all the time. He's definitely a consideration on certain road courses to be a top 10 or a top 5 car. So for me, it's what Daniel Suarez did to move to Spire that makes me want to buy stock in him now in 2026, because I feel like a much better season is on the horizon for Daniel. We just talked about him when we talked about the kind of the end of the last season. And yeah, he was Trackhouse's guy, and he was the one that started it all with Trackhouse, but he just got pushed out of the room, with bigger personalities. And Connor Zillage is hard to turn down at any situation. And he just didn't have a seat left once the music stopped. So it's good to see him in some decent equipment. And I feel like this will be a good move for him. So I'm all about Daniel Suarez in 2026.
So maybe bigger picture, we're buying in on Spire, right? I brought up Hocevar, you brought up Suarez, and McDowell's a solid driver over there as well. They've kind of solidified their lineup. I think that Suarez is an upgrade from Justin Haley. You bring over a Chris Gabehart type. Now, we played this game last year, right, where they got Rodney Childers, and that led us down a path of deceit. But they're willing to spend the money. They're putting the investment in. They want to win over there. And, if Hocevar can continue to lift this program, maybe Suarez can give it a boost as well. McDowell is always going to do his part. Maybe the stock prices on Spire should be up after what we saw in the 2025 season from these guys.
Yeah, again, it's just going to be a lot of fun to watch that, at least 2 of those cars run around the track and have themselves a good time. But
wow, I didn't know you hated McDowell so much, but whatever.
Sometimes it's what have you done for me lately?
This is actually a super interesting question. Spire total win or team total wins. Last year, this market was available and it was 1.5. We obliterated the under on it, and they didn't sniff a win. I mean, Hocevar sniffed some wins, but they did not win any races. This year, I think you have to set it at a half probably, and Hocevar is going to win. So take the over.
Suarez is going to win, so I'll take the over on that one for sure. If they set it at a half, Suarez gets the win, we're good to go. All right, how about let's go driver on the biggest hot seat after 2025. Ooh. Who is on the hot? We kind of went over this when we were talking about the driver changes, right?
Yeah, but who's the biggest hot seat driver? I'm going to stick with Alex Bowman. I think that if you do not put together, I think you have to come out of the gate, because again, silly season starts early. I think you have to come out of the gate and show up, Alex Bowman, because I think if you don't, you're going to be on the hot seat, because as much as Ally loves you, as much as Rick Hendrick loves you, if somebody like a Carson Hocevar comes flying out of the gate and they have an opportunity to put that guy in that car long term, how do they pass it up as an organization? Jeff Gordon wants to win over there. Rick Hendrick wants to win over there. Alex Bowman, to me, is the driver that is on that potentially on the hottest seat, and it's not so much because of a 2025 performance, I guess, but just because of the situation coming into 26, lack of wins last year. Step up or get replaced. I think the seat under Alex Bowman, and maybe this is just wishful thinking, is hotter than a lot of people think that it is.
And really mainly because of what we talked about earlier too, right? With the team, the status of the team makes this seat even hotter. I mean, Rowdy Nation saying Cindric or Cindric, and we did talk about Cindric a little bit in the driver. We were talking about the contracts a couple days ago, and that is a hot seat. Kyle Busch is on a hot seat right now because his contract.
Is Busch on a hot seat though? Like, Childress does not want to replace him. You're not going to get anybody that's worth more to your program, whether it's winning or not, than Kyle Busch for where Richard is right now in his program. And like, if he wants to come back, I think they'll gladly have him back. I don't know that he's on the hot seat. I think he might have some other opportunities where his seat is hot to potential suitors. But I don't know if Chase Elliott is not on the hot seat, JDK. That is the coldest seat in the garage because he is a cash cow, and he's going to continue to bring in money. He's the most popular driver. Napa loves him. Merch said, he ain't going anywhere. He's locked in through 27 anyways. But he's probably got that ride for many years to come.
Okay, I'm going to go out of order with these next ones because I want to know one change NASCAR must make after 2025.
Well, I think the low-hanging fruit is the playoffs, right? I think that's become the consensus for what needs to be changed is overhauling the playoff system, overhauling the championship system if you want. So that's kind of the low-hanging fruit. If there was another change I would want to implement, do you have any ideas on a change you would want to implement, Rod?
I mean, a lot of mine revolve around the idea of a caution.
Officiating.
Yeah. And the amount of laps that we run over cautions. What on the jolly green earth are we doing? We're running 500 laps under caution.
I mean, it's like, especially stage cautions, like it should be throw the caution, run a caution lap, pit everybody the next lap, and we're green the next side. There's scoring issues. They got to get everybody lined up right. I get it. But in today's day and age, it's pretty simple. Like, all that stuff is electronic. It's not, you're not looking over at Judy here and making sure she's got the right car on the wrong lap or whatever. Like, it's all electronic. Let's get them fucking lined up. And if they don't, put them in the back and go. I think that is definitely a great idea. But yeah, I can't think of any, man, I'm honestly pretty happy with the state of where NASCAR is right now. That, the lawsuit, I think, has brought some good positive stuff out. We have the evergreen charters. That could have been something you could have said, right? Is let's make that for team continuity and stuff. And I think the playoff one is kind of the big one, right? I think the current system worked out just about perfectly this year because you ended up with a deserving champion no matter which of the four won it. It was exciting race, all of that. But overall, it's been coming for years where it needs to be changed. I think it will be changed as we get into the new year. That's kind of the big one, I guess.
Yeah, well, and it's funny too because I was watching. I keep going back to the Daytona that I was watching because it's just such a different landscape, especially when the single file starts with the lap cars.
On the inside. Oh, that's the good old days, man.
Right? Like I thought to myself, this is such a strange concept now as we go to the choose era.
Yeah, imagine trying to explain that to somebody who doesn't like. It used to be that when they lined up for a restart, the lead lap cars lined up on the outside. Everybody who was lapped, 1 lap, 99 laps, 300 laps down, doesn't matter, lined up on the inside and would race mixed in with the other guys. There's some crazies. They used to race back to, instead of the lucky dog, a caution would come out, you'd race back to the line and you'd have lap cars. Obviously that's a safety issue because you'd have people racing through crash scenes trying to get around the leader to get their lap back and crazy stuff. But it's fun to watch those old races just for that. Like, oh yeah, remember when they did this or did that, or some of the different stuff that's been implemented over the years is crazy. But there's some nitpicky changes, little stuff here and there. I mean, maybe we get rid of stage cautions on super speedways. I think that you can award the points without throwing the caution. That might make those less of a field mileage race, although you're probably still going to end up figuring it out that way. But it's an idea. There's nothing else I'm really dead set on, like pounding the table. We need to change this.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to make a ton of changes before it's all said and done. So, all right. What will 2025 be remembered for?
I think the biggest thing is going to be Denny Hamlin. I think Denny Hamlin getting so close to winning the championship, and obviously there's been the other tragedy that's been put on there now, right? Possibly the lawsuit could be lumped in there as just the year of Denny Hamlin, but I think having the dominance he did late in the season, getting to the championship floor, actually putting together a full race of dominance and just driving away, killing everybody. Here's the opportunity, right? We know this is the last time his father's going to be around. 60 wins. Now, the one final thing he doesn't have, he's about to check it. No caution flags for 3 laps. And of course, that changes, and Kyle Larson ends up with the title. And that could be where we look back and say, wow, Kyle Larson got close to Jimmy Johnson 7 because he got this title, right? But I do think that in 10 years, when you look back, that's the year Hamlin was this fucking close and just couldn't get it done.
And 1,000% agree. And mine is sort of related to that, in that this is the season. This will be the season that's remembered for the event that changed the playoff system again, right? Because this is where Kyle Larson pretty much won and nobody was happy. And so that made everybody say,
that's how we remember 2003, right? Matt Kenseth wins the title with 1 race, and Ryan Newman has 8 wins. And those are the really only things I can tell you off the top of my head that happened in 2003 is Kenseth wins the title with 1 race, 1 win. Newman doesn't win it with 8 wins. And that launched us into, essentially what we have today through many iterations of it. But and then TK with the second story, maybe SVG dominance on road course. That's assuming that doesn't stay up, because it might just be remembered as more of a period than a single year of SVG killing everyone on why are you stepping back from everything, TK? You've been telling us for years how good this guy is. Don't step down now, buddy. Lean into it.
No, and seriously too, because that's not going to be remembered for that, because that's something that we all kind of,
it's going to be the era of SVG dominance on road course over a 3-7 year span, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, indeed. All right. How about one word? Hold on. Sorry. Let's go to driver of the year first. Driver of the year.
Driver of the year. Is this other than Carson Hocevar?
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't get driver of the year. Not yet. That'll be next year. Let's see. Driver of the year, I think, goes to Chase Briscoe. Honestly, I think going from where he came and what he was doing, which was okay. It was fine, right? We saw some flashes. There was a couple years ago where everybody's like, oh my God, next year is going to be the year. And we didn't get it. But to step into a big ride, filling in big shoes for Truex, stepping in the 19 car, the Baz Pro car, like it's all set up, stepping into it, and a slow start, yes, but it wasn't that long, 10 races maybe, and then just going into full on every fucking week. Chase Briscoe is going to contend for wins, road courses, super speedways, short tracks, big tracks, little tracks, go-karts, doesn't matter. Chase Briscoe is going to be in competition. To me, obviously, Kyle Larson wins the title. Yes, bad year. You could argue Denny maybe to some degree, but for me, it's Chase Briscoe stepping into that ride and doing what he did in the first year, having an opportunity like this. He's my driver of the year.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely a lot to be said about that, and I'll go with you on that, because Chase Briscoe is great, but I will give the tip of the cap, and not just because of everything that's happening right now, but Denny Hamlin, obviously, you said you could make a case for him, and I will, because 6 wins, right? Most in the series, 14 top 5s, 18 top 10s. Just, he did everything he could to win the championship, and through almost no fault of his own. There was fault there a little bit, but through almost no fault of his own.
Was there, though? I mean,
I don't even know
I don't know that you can even put that on Denny, that he didn't win.
That caution especially, right? That was
the caution was what it was. And then the pit call, and you can replay it 1,000 times. But I don't know that you can put that on Denny.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. So, but yeah, for me, like I said, it's just Denny because of everything that he put into the season and to put himself in the opportunity to take home his first title. And just as luck would have it, or as fate would have it, he did not get there. But this also goes to that whole thing of just the philosophy behind what we do from a betting community, right? From a betting standpoint, the situation, everything, all the factors could be clearly the best, right? Everything could be set out, and then it's one yellow flag. It's one loose tire. It's one missed lug nut. It's one person turning in front of you that should, and that's it, right? It doesn't matter what your model says. It doesn't matter what your historical data says, because that flat tire that just decided the entire fate of what was going on.
That's why you play the game. That's why you run the race, right? Yeah, on paper, you can put together the perfect game plan, but it has to be executed on the field. It has to be executed at the racetrack. That's the reason we love sports so much, honestly. So yeah, that's a great point there. And oh boy, I had another point I was going to make, but to flash back to the 2004 NASCAR Thunder game, Rod. Denny took that villain arc. It was way over here on red. He swung that motherfucker all the way over to green, and everybody loves the man now. So extra props to Denny for complete. It's one of those things where you get bored in the game and you're like, I'm gonna make everybody hate me, and then just spend the rest of the season like drafting behind guys and making friends. And you take the villain meter and you go all the way over and put it on the green hero meter, and that's where Denny has. It's come full circle.
That was one of my favorite things to do. Just piss off a bunch of people and then get
and then you had like L2 or whatever it was like the intimidator button, and you could get behind a guy and you'd make him loose because you were intimidated. Like, oh, what a fucking game. That was, it was beautiful.
I'm going to play that right now. I've got my Xbox and I've got that game.
Nice.
So
I'm not very updated on the games these days. I'm busy with life, but I have a PS2. I bet that would work on that. So I need to find it and, plug that bad boy in and get some. Do what?
I've got NASCAR Thunder 03, I think, and 04.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So, 04 was like the pinnacle of the game. It really was.
It was. Okay. Well, then, speaking of pinnacle, speaking of one word to describe things, how about one word to describe the 2025 season? Do you have one, Cody?
Great.
There. It's like Tony the Tiger. You just
great.
Mine, entertaining. There you could say what you will.
Are you not entertained?
Seriously, and the definition of being entertained, right, really ultimately boils down to, were you engaged? Was it something that kept your interest? Were you just interacting with everything going on? And this season, there was a lot of entertainment, right? Whether it was on track, whether it was off track, whether it was here. There was a lot of
courtroom. We had everything.
Entertainment value was at an all-time high.
It really was. Entertaining is a great word. I chose great because I think it was a great season. I think we had all the storylines. We had great races. There's all the stats out there about 9 last lap passes or whatever. I mean, there was no one driver that just dominated the entire season. We didn't have the 10-win guy. There were different points in the year where you could make a case that this guy's the best guy right now. That guy's the best guy right now. That guy could be the champion. It really was a great season. For as much as people bitch and complain, Goodyear with the tires, shout out to them. They have figured that out. I know TK was talking here about if they go back to the 2024 tire, please do not continue on this path we're on with tires. That has become a huge part of it. That changes the game completely. They don't know how to prepare for some of this stuff, which again is why we love the unknowns, is what we love about sports, having to go out there and perform no matter what the conditions are. Oh, it's snowing today. It's raining today. It's tires, whatever it is. JDK puts it perfectly. NASCAR fans need to appreciate the fact we still have good racing with a lot of excitement. It is not 1995 anymore. I love going back and watching those races as much as anybody else does. But we have in 2025 extremely good NASCAR racing. NASCAR is on a trajectory upwards. It continues to move that way. NASCAR leadership, for the most part, is pushing it that direction. Will continue to. And I think the sport is in the best, healthiest spot it's been in a long time. And I'm so happy we're so deep in the sport right now, because it's just going to continue to get better and better. So great. Sums it up for me.
Entertaining sums it up for me. So speaking of which, we put to bed the 2025 season and the 2025 year. Cody, this marks our third season together as a show. Is it fourth?
24, 25. This is 4 complete. We started in 22, the beginning of the next gen era. So we have done 4 full seasons, over 700 episodes.
Wow.
And we're just going to keep rolling right into 2026, baby.
Sure as hell are. Season 5 begins. Well, it's already begun, I guess. There's no delineation point, but
it's like the TV show. Like, it's a new season. Okay, it was just on last week, but whatever.
They're like, wait a second, you just turned the calendar. That's all. But, we will turn the calendar with you and put to bed this year, which we've enjoyed each and every minute with it. Look, I'll tell you, like I tell every time we get to one of these points with these sort of pinnacle points of the shows, and that I cannot for the life of me fathom how I've been able to keep going with this show each and every day without you, Cody, without everybody out there listening. It's phenomenal when you reach 700 episodes and you look back on it and you go, this is something you just do every single day. You can get burnt out some days. You can just feel like you just, oh my God, I got to do this again. But the energy that you guys bring me, the energy that you bring, Cody, this show is a part of my life, and you guys are all a part of my life. And I'm so grateful for it. If I look back on 2025, it's been another year where you guys have allowed me to do the very thing that I love the most.
Yeah, I completely echo everything you said. Listen, without other people who listen, and it blows my mind the number of people who listen and reach out and talk about the show and how they found it. And we love to hear those stories. It's crazy. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for riding with us. It's been such a fun journey. I'm really sad that I don't get to talk to you again until next year, Rod. But you got to do it, right? It's the end of the year. I had to throw it in there. But yes, we'll be back next week, obviously, because that's the new year. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And 2026, Rod, make NASCAR betting fun again. That's what we're going to do here on this show. Let's fucking go.
You said it. You got it right. You remembered it.
I wrote that shit down, motherfucker.
Hey, we need to get that in the merch store pronto.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll
save it. I got a surprise coming up for it, but
ooh, I like that.
Make NASCAR betting fun again, Rob.
Make NASCAR betting fun again. All right, everybody out there, have a great, have a safe, have a fun New Year's celebration, however you want to do it, whether you go out and watch the ball drop or you stay in and watch your own balls drop. However it is you decide to celebrate the day, please be safe. Please see us back here next year, as we would love nothing more than to celebrate another fantastic NASCAR season with you, Cody. As we wrap things up for the year, let everybody know where they can find you out there in the real world.
Yep. Follow me over on the X at _Zeeb. Rod, tons and tons of stuff out there. If you're listening to this before the college football quarterfinals start out, I'm about to have an article probably posting this evening, which is, I don't even know what day it is, Tuesday evening, with picks for that. College football bowl games, picks continue to roll. NFL stuff is constantly streaming. All kinds of stuff at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Go check out the main podcast, Sports Gambling Podcast. The guys had me on there, some underdog best ball fantasy playoff edition stuff today. We drafted a couple teams. That was a ton of fun. Again, thanks to everybody for a great, wonderful year. Hopefully 2026 is even better, even bigger. Let's make NASCAR betting fun again, Rod. See you next year.
See you next year. Unless you're TK, then you're only 8 more hours until next year for him out there on the far, far, far east coast of it all. All right, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. You can find out everything that I'm up to over there. Please make sure you get in that Discord, right? That's where we keep all the conversations going. You'll meet great guys like the JDK, like Roddy Nation, like TK, like all of our fun folks that hang out with us on a day-to-day basis and get in a lot of fun conversations. All right, enjoy the rest of your year. We'll see you next year, everybody. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.